I've been seeing more and more discussions about exchange accounts getting restricted or deposits suddenly ending up under review. And the more I look into those situations, the more I notice that a lot of them eventually come down to transaction history, AML checks, or assets that interacted with questionable wallets somewhere in the past. So yeah, that's actually one of the reasons crypto mixers still exist today. They help separate on-chain activity, improve privacy, and, well, remove those direct links between previous transactions and future ones. Anyway, I've been testing different crypto platforms and technologies for several years now, and over time, I've kind of developed my own framework for evaluating whether a service actually looks legitimate from a technical standpoint. So, in this video, I'm going to show one of the crypto mixer solutions I've personally tested and explain why I've been using this type of tool as part of my workflow for quite a while now, especially when I want to improve privacy, separate previous on-chain history, and keep my transactions a bit more independent before interacting with different parts of the crypto ecosystem. All right, so before getting into all the theory and explaining what's happening behind the scenes, I actually want to show the whole process first. I've always preferred looking at the technical side before anything else because that usually tells me how much effort was put into building the platform. So first thing I need to do here is connect my wallet. There are a few options available, but I'm just going to use Trust Wallet since that's what I normally keep open anyway. All right, looks like everything connected successfully. And yeah, here's my unique ID at the top. So from here, I just choose the asset I want to process. In this example, I'm using Bitcoin. Then I paste the recipient address where the processed assets are going to end up afterward. After that, I enter the amount I want to run through the mixer. And right below that, there's the number of mixing rounds. Basically, the higher this number is, the more times the assets get processed internally. So naturally, that also increases the level of anonymity. Then there's delivery delay option, which, well, adds a time gap before the assets arrive. Personally, for this demonstration, I'm gonna leave it disabled just to keep everything straightforward. And once all the parameters are set, the platform automatically shows the final calculation with the fee already included based on the settings I've selected. So at this point, all that's left for me to do is press start mixing. All right, so before confirming anything, I usually take one more look through all the details and settings just to make sure everything matches what I intended to do in the first place. Okay, everything looks good here, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit confirm. All right, looks like the process has started. Now Protocol is handling everything on its side. And this part normally takes a little while, so I'm just gonna give it some time and wait for the status to update. All right, so a few hours have passed since I started the process, and yeah, everything completed successfully. My transaction has been finalized and assets have arrived at the destination address without any issues. And now I can continue using it with a bit more peace of mind, knowing that I've already taken care of the privacy side and separated previous on-chain activity before interacting with other platforms. Anyway, one thing I've always liked about privacy-related crypto technologies is that they're usually built around pretty simple ideas, even though everything happening in the background can be technically complex. I mean, blockchains are transparent by nature, so over the years, the industry naturally came up with different approaches for managing on-chain privacy, and I've always found that side of crypto really interesting from a technical perspective. Personally, I've been experimenting with different tools and platforms for quite a few years already, so at this point, I mostly pay attention to how everything feels in practice. Whether the process is straightforward, whether the interface makes sense, whether everything behaves the way I'd expect it to, stuff like that. And that's probably why I've continued using privacy-focused solutions as part of my normal workflow for so long. Not because of hype or anything like that, I've just always appreciated tools that are easy to understand and don't require a bunch of unnecessary steps. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share the process I've personally been using for a while now. And well, hopefully it was interesting from a technical standpoint.